Okay, so some of you may have missed this trade today, but that's perfectly okay. So if you did not have a directional bias today, then you would have had no trade, which is excellent, which is actually good. Now, I did catch this trade, and I'll explain to you how I did it. Again, all of this is based on the devil's candle playbook. Okay, so this is a live market. We are on ES, and what I'm going to do is scroll out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to squash up the entire chart. So the very first thing, now, by the way, I have a PDF called the Devil's Candle Playbook. Now, there's a link in the description. This lays out the entire model, the entire playbook, step by step, includes all the rules and all the checks. Okay, so it's in the description. I also have another document in the description, which is completely free. It's called the BSI Confidence Index. It's a Google Doc, it's free. Again, link in description. And I've explained what that document is. So what that document does, the BSI index, is it grades your breakout, right? It grades that initial 5 minutes. Sorry, I said breakout. It grades your devil's candle. We had a score of 3 today, which is good. But let me show you where most of you would have gone wrong. So like I said, many of you would have had no trade today. And the reason is very simple. I want you to look at the trend before we get into the devil's candle. Now, the devil's candle is this price between the blue lines. So I'm on the 1 minute. My chart is a bit squashed up. Um, that's not important. What I want you to notice is before we had a devil's candle, one of the steps is to determine a directional bias. Okay, so not a bias, but a directional bias. We use the time frame between 7 a.m. and 9:30. So that gives us the initial bias. And we look at that time frame in the context of the background. All right, the background is basically everything that's happened from 6 p.m. I want you to notice something. With the SMA, you can see how price is all over the place, right? It's not consistent. It's above the SMA, it's below. It's above the SMA, it's below. And it does that constantly throughout the entire session. That basically equals a neutral bias. That means you have no bias at all. And when you have no bias at all, that equals no trade because that's an extreme. Okay. So no bias means no trade. We only trade when we have very clear bullish directional bias or very clear bearish directional bias. So 99.9% of you, no trade, which would have saved you. Now, let's assume you made the mistake of saying this was an uptrend. Guess what happened? When price broke, so right here, so this is the devil's candle between the blue lines. When we broke, where did we break? We broke lower, right? We broke lower. And the rules say if price is breaking in the opposite direction to your directional bias, that equals no trade. So the playbook would have saved you if you had, first of all, no directional bias, no trade, fine. But also, let's say you made a mistake. Let's assume you decided it was bullish, right? Well, again, you would have had no trade. Why? Because price broke in the opposite direction of your directional bias. Now, for me, what I do, okay, this is slightly more advanced, is when I have no directional bias, right? No directional bias. So this is just no data. For me, this is no data. This is not telling me anything. All I do is look at what was the previous prevailing trend. Okay, that's one of the things that I do. What's the previous prevailing trend? So all I'm doing is adding additional information, which is not part of the playbook, by the way. Not part of the playbook. The playbook is meant and designed to be simple. Simple. All I did was add additional data, looking at the previous background, determining that that previous background was bearish. So I was expecting price to break bearish, right? To break down. And here we have Go back. We have our break. So all we're looking for is a break and retest. We've got our break and retest there under 1 minute. Take the entry on the very next candle. Standard stop loss, 5 points or 6 points, depending on how much you want to risk. And the target is 30 points, which is right here. So sorry about the chart being all squashed up, but it's the best way I can explain today's session. So there you have it, guys. Everything all based on the Devil's Candle playbook. There are 2 links in the description. The first one is the BSI Confidence Index. I've got videos that explain what it is. It just grades the Devil's Candle. We had a 3 today, which was very, very good. So 3 is good, as long as it's congruent with your directional bias. That's completely free. And then the second PDF, that's a paid PDF, takes you to a Whoop store, and that lays out the entire playbook. So I use both the BSI index or matrix and the Devil's Candle playbook. Hopefully you got some insights from this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.